Skarski.
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. Mr. Rucker, he's a young man. Understand there is no PSI, Your Honor. One of the reasons is there was a death in his family. He was trying to deal with that. He wasn't dealing with it as well as he was hoping he could. He has been to prison. I'm aware of his criminal record. I would submit, Your Honor, that this case is a case, while it's there, he pled to an F1 and an F5, that Mr. Rucker was dealing with a substance abuse situation at the time. He was selling in part and possessing with the intent to sell because he was using. He did have minor children at the time. I believe he had 3 children. He has one since, that's 3 months old. His girlfriend is now pregnant, who's in the back of the courtroom. So what he's trying to do is he recognizes that he's getting too old to continue this lifestyle. What he wants to do is move on with his life. He was doing that. He was succeeding to a certain extent when he was out on bond, and he was a stay-at-home father. His girlfriend was working. He was staying at home. He didn't want to be put in that situation. He didn't really know what to do at that point because he knew if he went out to work, then he most likely was going to come back. And so I think it was a situation where he was hoping against hope that maybe everyone would forget about this. But he's now here. He's recognizing what he needs to do. He's owning up to his responsibility, acknowledging what he did. And so when the court has to fashion a sentence, Your Honor, I think that under 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13, it has to be a sentence that has the minimum imposition on the state of Ohio and the resources of the state of Ohio. And so while I recognize that he does have a lengthy criminal history, and that's why I'm not going to be asking for a minimum sentence, I would suggest somewhere in the 4 to 5 year range, understanding this is a Reagan-Stokes case that's going to have an indefinite sentence. So I would submit a 5-year sentence or a 4-year sentence would be sufficient and not greater than necessary to punish Mr. Rucker, protect the community, and establish rehabilitation.
All right, Mr. Rucker, what do you want to tell me before I impose sentence?
I want to apologize to the courts for the mistakes I made. And at the time, I was going through a death in the family. And I just wanted to see my daughter born, Your Honor. And once again, I apologize to the courts for the mistakes I made.
Skygrich.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just wanted to clarify a couple of things. These were large buys and actually a rip-off because part of the original buy was found to be a no controlled substance. Second one was a 1 ounce crack buy, so it wasn't just selling a little bit to get by. Secondly, the issue with the crime lab was adjudicated by this court and found to be no issue. So he really gave up nothing. The state of Ohio believes a mid-range sentence would be acceptable in the 5 or 6 year range.
All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report, at least that portion that was done. There is a GSI offense as a juvenile, as an adult, grand theft of a motor vehicle felony, then an abduction, grand theft, and domestic violence. And on that offense, there was a prison sentence imposed, judicial release subsequent. There was a attempted domestic, an F5 in that same time frame, as well as a second attempted domestic in that same time frame. Those are in 17, 15 and 17. There's in this court an aggravated possession of drugs F5, which I ran that sentence concurrent to that prison sentence I mentioned previously. So on those 4 felonies, there was a prison number imposed. You got out April of 18 from that prison sentence. 5 months later, trafficking offenses in Cuyahoga County, which a prison sentence was imposed for almost 2 years. You have this offense in January of '25. There are a couple of offenses out of the Toledo Police Department, felonies that there are warrants out, so I don't have any idea what's going on with those. So while you apologize for the mistakes, this is not a mistake, it's a pattern of activity that you've engaged in over your adult life, which has led you here. So I wouldn't quantify that as a mistake. You pled no contest to these charges June 23rd, ordered a pre-sentence report. You went over there initially, supposed to show up July 1, never showed up. Got picked up in Middleburg Heights on February 10th. So that's kind of the history of this case. So in consideration of what counsel has said and what you have said, Mr. Rucker, on count 1, which is a felony 5, I'm going to impose a prison sentence of 12 months. On count 2, the felony 1, I'm going to impose a definite minimum sentence of 6 years up to an indefinite maximum amount of 9 years in prison. That will be concurrent with count 1.